Hey everyone, I'm Katie, and I'm here today to do the Beauty and the Beast book tag. It seems really fun and cute, and it's kind of like all about opposites and things, so I thought I'd do it. So here we go. 1. A villain you can't help but love. Severus Snape. I love Snape. I know so many people who think he's awful and horrible, and I mean, that's true, but the thing I love about him the most is that you never know where he stands. One minute he's doing good, the next he's evil, the next he's kind of in between. And so I love that he's such a complex character and that we get to really see what he does and explore him a little bit. 2. Your OTP. This question gives me a lot of problems because I have more than one OTP, so I'm going to give you a list of my book OTPs. So, one that I have is Hedrick, or also known as the Chosen Spare, also known as Harry and Cedric. And I love them, and I love the idea of them, and just the lost opportunity that they have. They're so tragic, and yet they're so lovable. So they're one of my Harry Potter OTPs. Another one I have is Ron and Hermione. I love that they are opposites, and yet that they work perfectly. They're just adorable, and I love that they're canon. Third is John and Sherlock from the Sherlock Holmes series. I can't express my love for John Locke. I love all of the adaptations that have been done about them, whether in TV show or movie. I love the books, and just they are a timeless ship, and I definitely am someone who ships them. And finally, I guess, my fourth ship is Fitz and the Fool from the Realm of the Elderling series. I can't really tell you why I love them without really spoiling a lot of stuff, but they are the absolute best, despite the fact that they make me cry constantly. So I would definitely recommend going to read those if you haven't. Anyway, number 3. A character who's destined for greater things. Fitz Chivalry Farseer, aka Fitz, from the Realm of the Elderling series by Robin Hobb. He's made of better stuff than he has to go through in the books. He deserves every happiness, and when you read him, you will understand what I mean. Just he gets treated so poorly, and his life is so tragic that you just can't help but see all the things that he does and goes through, and you're like, why doesn't he get more? Why doesn't he have happy times, really, ever? So it's like, there's so much more that could be done with the character, and just there's so many things that you can see him doing that he really doesn't get explored much. So that makes me sad. 4. A book that makes you hungry. Probably The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I mean, every single page is pictures of the caterpillar going through and eating all kinds of gorgeous, delicious looking food. I mean, if that doesn't make you hungry, I don't really know what would. 5. Opposites Attract. Now, I had to look around for this one, see what other people said, because I can interpret it a few different ways, but ultimately I decided that it means like couples and ships and things, and so with that in mind, the first thing that pops in my head is Ron and Hermione from Harry Potter. As I said before, they're one of my OTPs. Like, I saw that they were going to become a couple from early on in the series, and just I love that they're so different, and yet they click and they work perfectly. 6. A character who is more than they appear. Absolutely Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings. I mean, when we first meet him, he's portrayed as this simple little guy, farm guy from the Shire, and yet he goes out on this grand quest, his employer, I guess, and essentially he's the one who saves the world. He takes on so many trials and tests, and ultimately he's the one that saved everybody. I mean, and Frodo gets pretty much all the credit. But Sam is the one. Frodo couldn't have done it without him. And I think, just seeing him as himself at the beginning and seeing what he does throughout the entire book is frankly incredible. You would never have thought that of this simple farmer fella at the very beginning. So I would say definitely Sam. There's so much more to him than meets the eye. 7. A book that changed you in some way. There are so many books that I say that changed me or helped make me the person I am today. But the one that I'm going to pick is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, because it could be argued that I wouldn't be where I was today. My love of history and languages, my love for fantasy and fantasy worlds, love of history at a fairly young age, majoring in medieval studies, ancient studies. I mean, he helped me put me on the path to where I wanted to go. And I read that book when I was like 9 or 10 for the first time, and I loved it. And if it wasn't for that book, I might not have done a lot of the things that I did today. Number 8, a book you picked up because of the hype. I'm going to change this to a series I picked up because of the hype, but The Kingkiller Chronicle by Patrick Rothfuss. First, I have had several friends who've read this and have recommended it to me constantly. Wouldn't stop really bothering me until I read it, and I'm like, all right, I'll read it. And then I found out more about it, and now it's going to be turned into a TV series, and I'm like, all right, I'll pick this up and take a look at it. Well, I started to read it, and I'm in the middle of the second one now, The Wise Man's Fear. But I'm not really a fan. I mean, Patrick Rothfuss's writing is really quite something spectacular. I'm not gonna lie. I love his writing style and his way with words. But I'm not a fan of his characters, and particularly Kvothe. I really, really dislike Kvothe. I find him incredibly irritating. I want to throw him off the building repeatedly. I mean, I got bored in the middle of the first one. It felt like nothing happened, and I'm quite disappointed in it. But that's one book I picked up because of the hype. And finally, 9, a book or moment that always makes you cry. I'm gonna give you 2 because I have a couple of moments that make me cry. One is The Tale of the Prince in the Deathly Hallows. I definitely cried through that chapter when I realized what was happening, Snape's love for Lily and their whole relationship thing. So that's one. And then another one is in a different series. It's Throne of the Elderlings. And, one could argue that you could cry at several different moments in each book. But the one that I literally sobbed my way through is A Fool's Fate. And I can't exactly give you a specific moment that was the worst, because then it would be major spoilers. But the entire book is quite the emotional roller coaster. And That's all I'm going to say about it for right now. Okay. That's all I've got for you today, so feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and follow me on any of the social media sites I've linked below in the description box, and I will come back with another video very soon. Okay, bye!